Shalom, Kahala, Yahbash, Shai, Bashim, Kakadash, the ones and apostles of great millstone, and Shalom to you, builders and highways and byways, doing the works of sealing faithfully, continually fighting the good fight of faith. Alright, tonight's lesson is going to be based upon leadership, okay, and being a leader. And as you see on the screen here, it says leadership is action, not a position, okay? Now, when you come into this thing, you come in as a newborn babe, if you will. All right. And some men, the Lord will bless with more understanding quickly. Some men, it may take a little more time. Okay. But one thing you can't do is try to force the spirit to put you in a leadership position that you go out and start pulling men into your camp that aren't ready to be pulled into a camp. Okay. And when that happens, you got to understand you're putting men's lives in danger of the Most High through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, because once a man puts his hand to the plow and looketh back, the Lord might not have no mercy on that man. And then that man might not understand what he's doing in the first place, because as we stated before, he never got the time to purge those demons or the old leaven or just that old man off of him. All right. So being a leader, man, it's or being a head of a camp, it's not just a title. There are several things that you may have to do, and several hats that you have to wear. And you have to have the spirit of understanding. There may be times where you may have to make certain decisions. There may be times where, as the head or as the leader of the camp, you may have to administer some type of, judgment or admonishment, okay, or some type of rebuke. All these things, come with being in that sort of being in that sort of role. It's not just you wear the hat that people would say, oh, he's the head of the camp. There have been times that men have actually, didn't want to take on the position of being the head of a camp because there's a lot entailed, man. There's a lot entailed. And you got some men out there in Israel who just love to have a rank, who just love to be in, be seen or be in that head position just because they can say they're in the head position. All right. These are the things that the Lord sets up. The Lord's going to put you in a certain position. You're not going to anoint yourself and appoint yourself to a position where, you have no understanding or no knowledge of how to handle the position. All right. So let me go here. This is John 15:16. It says, ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain. Okay. Now, the fruit that we speak of is the blessing that the Lord puts on certain men to come into the camp. The Lord gives the man a spirit of understanding, where after a certain period of time, him coming out, showing his diligence, showing that he's ready to be a part of, whatever camp it may be, then the Lord will supplement and pull him in, but you can't go out and just start wheeling the sword around and, so-called knighting people and having them come into the camp when they have no idea what the hell they're doing, man. You got to ask yourself the question, man. If you have a camp and 4 men were pulled in and 4 men are gone within a 2-year period, something ain't right, man. You're not doing something right. And then the men that you have been brought in the same way, in haste. You know, you gotta get to know and read a man's countenance. You gotta get to know and read a man's spirit, to know if he's right, to know if the Lord, and at the end of the day, you know, it's all about if the Lord selects this man. There's a lot of guys out there you question, man. We question a lot of shit because that's our position, being the leader or slash the head of a camp. You just don't grab a man and say, you in the camp, brother, you in, you know, and 2 weeks later they leave and you're like, oh, he fell out. Hey man, he was never really in. You see? But these are some of the things that being the head or being the leader, you have to understand, man. Everything's not gonna be, you know, picture perfect. You going to see some guy, you out there in the highways, you see some guy, you tell me he's an Israelite, and next thing you know, he got a garment, and he's in the camp with you. You see? That's not wise, man. That's not wise at all. You know, a man is better off being solo, you know, and letting the Lord, you know, bring forth men, because, you know, actually the way it should be done through the Spirit is, you know, you out there teaching and men come up, they listen, you know, they listen for maybe 6-7 months, maybe a year, they out there listening. And then through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, the doors will open up that he may be grafted into the fold. But to see a man and just tell him to come back next week, you will have a garment ready for him, that shit ain't wise, man. For anybody. You know? And to have certain shit go down that you know, that you don't know how to handle, you know, that's not of the Spirit, man. That's not of the Lord. Revelation 3:18, it says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that thy shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thy eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. Okay? Anoint your eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. You got to understand. You got to be able to see what's happening. You got to be able to identify. Okay? You got to be able to do these things through the Spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And if the Lord isn't sanctioning any of this, you're not going to see these things, man. And this is and you're going to have the shit that we had the shit that was done last week, man. Confusion, nonsense. Okay? And you can't even recognize the fact that you're supposed to be the head of the camp or the leader of the camp, and you got, you know, spectators telling you how to run shit, how shit should be done. So this lesson, man, is for those who hastily, you know, want to be in a position of leadership, who hastily want to be the head of a camp. Okay? The shit don't work like that, man. The shit don't work like that. Okay? The scriptures clearly speak about, you know, if the blind leadeth the blind, they should both fall in the ditch. This is 1 Corinthians 2 and 14. I'll just start right at the point. It says, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Right. Things that are spiritually discerned meaning spiritually recognized. You gotta spiritually recognize certain things when you're in this position of leadership or in this position of being the head of a camp. Okay? Things come with experience. And when you watch your teachers and your elders, you learn from your elders. You learn from the men who have been there before you. And then you slowly but surely, through the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, you slowly start to adopt those traits and those characteristics, okay, into your spirit. And then you move as one body. You move as they would move, through the Spirit. And coming into this thing, you have plenty of men, okay, who've been on the scene, if you will, for 35, 40 plus years in total, 70 years in total, combined, however many years, and you don't see them doing some of the things that some of you men do out there. You don't see them doing no shit like that. So what makes you think or give you the green light to do shit that your elders haven't done or your leaders haven't done? And some of you men who are in other groups, those other groups and them heads of those other groups, some of them guys out there don't do the shit that you're doing. So where's that shit stemming from? Where's all that stemming from? That's stemming from your own personal thoughts and your own personal emotions and your own personal lack of understanding. That's where that shit comes from. Verse 15, it says, "But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, and yet himself is judged of no man." He that is spiritual judgeth all things. Like I said at the beginning of the lesson, there are certain things as a leader or as a head that you have to understand and judge. Okay? And some of the shit that's been going on, man, is lack of judgment, is lack of leadership, is lack of being a man who has the qualities of leading men. You can't just go, like I said, you can't just go and grab men from anywhere, any corner of the earth, and decide that, you know what, you in the camp now. And this is what's been going on, man. Men haven't been proved. They haven't been, purged. Okay? They haven't, exorcised them demons off of them. But yet you pull them in and not letting them have the opportunity to, to be born again, if you will, to become a little babe again. You got men pulling in off the street, you pull them in, and they move right up to ranking status, if you will. All right. So all that being said, man, this lesson is about, men understanding that being a leader or being the head of a camp, there's many hats that you got to wear, and there's much experience that you have to acquire. So, be admonished and be warned for all you, younger guys out there who are coming into this thing, and trying to get hasty to get numbers and to get men into your camp. That's not about, the Lord ain't about numbers, man. He's not about numbers. Like I said, a man is better off going solo, fighting that good fight of faith solo, until the Lord truly opens up the door for a man to come into the camp. Not just winging it, because you tell somebody they're Israelite and now they rank and file up in the camp. It don't work like that. All right, so with that, Lord willing, I see you brothers in another show. I say shalom.